The DJI Mic 2 is an upgraded version of the original DJI Mic, and it comes with several improvements and new features. First, I'll explain how the transmitter and receiver work, covering all the buttons and features. Plus, I'll share my favorite settings with the DJI Mic. Now, note that the DJI Mic 2 comes in two versions. One version comes with two transmitters, and the other comes with a single transmitter and have the same microphone settings. Now inside the case you'll find the transmitter with built-in microphones and the receiver. Additionally, it also includes the USB-C and lightning adapters for connecting the receiver to phones or a computer. Now to get started quickly, connect the receiver to your camera using the included 3.5 mm cable if your camera has a microphone jack. If you're connecting the receiver to a phone, then first remove the small plastic piece on the receiver and attach the USB-C or lightning adapter to the receiver. Next, clip the transmitter to your shirt or use the included magnet. That's it, and you're ready to go. Now if you only have the Mic 2 transmitter or want to use the transmitter in your Mic 2 kit to connect via Bluetooth, here's how to do it. So first, power on the transmitter and check the indicator light above the link button. Now if it's blue, you're good to go. If it's green, then the transmitter is in receiving pairing mode. Press and hold the red record button for 3 seconds until the light turns blue. Now make sure the device you want to connect to is in Bluetooth pairing mode. You should now be able to find the transmitter on your device. Now once you're connected, the light will turn solid blue. You can now use the transmitter wirelessly without needing to connect the receiver to the camera, though you can still do that if you prefer. Next, we look into how to pair transmitter to the receiver. Now when you place the transmitter and the receiver in the charging case, they automatically link to each other. If for some reason they don't link automatically, you can manually link them by following these steps. On the transmitter, press the link button for 2 seconds, and on the receiver, swipe down on the screen, go to the receiver settings and tap on link device to start linking the transmitter with the receiver. That's it, and you're all set with the DJI Mic 2. However, if you want to maximize its capabilities, let's explore everything it comes with, how it works, and the best settings to enhance your experience with the DJI Mic 2. Now over here we have a transmitter. You will find the built-in microphone and the 3.5 mm jack on the top. Now this jack lets you hook up a wired lavalier microphone if required. DJI now offers its own wired lavalier microphone, specially designed to optimize performance with this transmitter. That doesn't come with this transmitter, but you have to purchase that as a separate. You can do that from the DJI website. Additionally, you can attach the included windscreen by plugging it into this mic jack. At the back of the transmitter, there's a clip for attaching it to your shirt, and under the clip you'll find a small cord slot. This slot is specifically designed to hold the lavalier mic cable securely in place, thus adds an extra layer of safety. You can also attach the mic transmitter to your shirt using the magnet included with the transmitter, giving you more creative placement options. Now on this side of the transmitter, you will find an LED at the top. This LED indicates the recording status. Now to switch on the internal recording, you have to press the red line circular button below the LED. The LED will turn red to confirm that the recording has started. Now each of these transmitter has an 8 GB of storage, which allows you to record internally on the transmitter itself and use it as a voice recorder or as a backup audio source. Now you can also press and hold the red line circular record button for 3 seconds to switch between using the DJI Mic 2 receiver or turning on the Bluetooth connectivity. Furthermore, there is a USB-C port also on this side of the transmitter. You can use it to connect the transmitter to a computer for things like moving audio files or updating its firmware, or you can use it to charge the transmitter. Now each transmitter's battery can last for approximately 6 hours on a single charge. On the other side, there's another LED that shows different statuses. If the LED is blue, it means the transmitter is connected to a device via Bluetooth. A yellow light indicates that noise cancellation mode is activated. When the LED is solid green, it indicates that the transmitter is in good condition and is paired with the receiver. And if the green light is slowly blinking, it means the transmitter is not paired with the receiver. To enable noise cancellation, simply tap the power buttons. The LED will turn yellow, indicating that the feature has been activated. Now let's discuss the receiver. It's a device that links your camera if you're not using a Bluetooth. The receiver has a touchscreen display and a thumb wheel on the front. Depending on your preference, you can use the touchscreen or the thumb wheel to navigate through the receiver's setting and options. Now I prefer using the thumb wheel as I find it more comfortable when selecting or adjusting the receiver's setting. Now when powered on, swipe down on the receiver to access the menu. Now in the menu we can adjust various settings. Let's start with the receiver settings first. This is where you control how the audio is processed and transmitted to your recording device. Now here we have three modes: mono, then we have mono with a safety track, and then a stereo mode. Let me give you a quick comparison between these so you know which one to use when. So what exactly is mono mode? Now in simple terms, mono captures audio as a single track or channel where everything is equally distributed to the left and right channels. Now most of the sound out there in this world is captured as a single track in mono. In contrast, stereo recording utilizes two separate channels, left and right, which has its own advantages, which we will explore later in this video. When you look at a mono track in your editing software, you will just see one waveform. Now it's straightforward and capturing all your audio sources into one unified track. Now the question is, why would you want to use a mono mode? Now since all your audio sources come together into one channel, you get consistent and balanced sound throughout your recording. Now whether you are doing a solo podcast or recording a voiceover, mono ensures clarity and uniformity. Plus it saves space on your storage and makes editing much easier, especially if you're working on a longer recordings with the limited resources. This mode is ideal when you are confident that your recording setup is stable, meaning everything from your microphone, the surroundings is in a consistent and reliable condition. So if you are in a space or spot where you know things will be nice and calm, and you are recording on a single microphone, then the mono mode is your friend, as it will give you a uniform and clear sound quality. Next we have mono with the safety track mode. Now in mono with safety, you get two tracks. You get a primary track recorded at a normal volume level, and you get another track which records at a lower volume, usually 6 to 10 decibels lower than the primary track. Now you might be wondering, why is this important? Imagine you are a blogger recording a vlog on a busy street. Now everything is set up perfectly and you are capturing great footage, sound, everything. Suddenly a loud motorcycle roars past or a car honks right next to you. Now this unexpected noise can cause your primary track to peak and distort, making it hard to hear what you were saying at that moment. But with the safety track enabled, you have a lower volume recording running at the same time as a backup. As you can see here, we have an audio clip recorded in mono with the safety track option enabled. Now I'm using DaVinci Resolve, but you can edit this in any of your favorite video editing software. Under the Fairlight tab, you can see two waveforms. Now the top waveform is your primary track, capturing your voice clearly, but also picking up the loud motorcycle or honking car at full volume, which can at times cause distortion. The bottom waveform is your safety track and it records in a lower volume. When that loud noise happens, the safety track isn't as affected. It captures your voice more cleanly without the distortion. Now in this case, the safety track acts as a backup. If your main audio gets too loud and distorts, you have a quite a cleaner version to fall back on. So my suggestion is, when you are vlogging or on a busy street where unpredictable loud noises are common, using mono mode with the safety track option enabled, I would say, is a lifesaver. And lastly, we have the stereo mode. In simple terms, stereo mode captures audio using two channels, left and right. When you look at a stereo track in your editing software, you'll see two waveforms, one for the left channel and the other one for the right. The benefit of stereo mode is that it allows different sounds to come from different directions, basically adds a dimensional quality to your audio and overall scene. Now if you are using DJI wireless mic 2 with two transmitters, stereo mode is perfect for podcast and interviews. Imagine two people named Carol and James having a podcast and have chosen stereo mode for their audio recording. Carol's microphone, which is transmitter 1, records her voice on the left channel, while James' microphone, which is the transmitter 2, records his voice on the right channel. Now during the podcast, if Carol's voice gets louder or softer than James or vice versa, we can still adjust their volumes as well as remove unwanted coughs or sounds from each person's voice individually. This level of control enables us to fine-tune the audio so that both voices are clear and balanced, and such adjustments are only possible when we select stereo mode on the DJI receiver. However, it's crucial to remember that when you record audio in stereo, you will need to combine both stereo channels into single track during post-editing and export it as mono. This is done to ensure that your audio can be correctly played on all devices. So while stereo mode offers flexibility during recording, it requires careful editing to ensure optimal audio quality and compatibility. To summarize, stereo mode is ideal for interviews when using two transmitters together. On the next tab, we have the recommended camera settings. Over here, DJI has tested various camera models to determine the best presets settings for each one. So if we click here, we'll find a list of well-known digital camera brands and models. We can select the specific model under the camera brand. Let's say we choose Sony. Then we pick the camera model from the list provided. Now once selected, the receiver gain will be automatically configured to optimize the audio settings for that camera brand and model. Now if your camera model isn't listed here, what you can do is you can still manually adjust the gain settings under the next tab labeled as receiver gain. Now you can adjust the gain using the thumb wheel. I suggest leaving this at 0 as you can adjust the gain for your individual transmitters in the transmitter settings, which we will discuss shortly. But next we have the headphone volume control. This setting basically determines the loudness of the sound when monitoring headphones are connected to the receiver. Next we have the power on off camera simultaneously, which I have enabled it. This means that when I connect the receiver to the camera, it automatically turns on and off along with the camera, so saving me both the battery life and time. So the next tab is auto off. It's good to have this enabled because it means the receiver will automatically turn off if it's not linked to a transmitter within 30 minutes after turning on. Finally, the last setting in the receiver settings is link device. You would use this if you want to manually link the receiver to the transmitter. Now let's swipe up and go back to the main menu and select transmitter settings. So the first tab we have is a low cut filter. When this is turned on, the transmitter filters out low frequencies and noises, making for a cleaner audio. However, I like to keep this disabled because it allows my audio to sound fuller. Since the low cut filter cuts out low frequencies, what happens is that it removes the background rumbles and other low tones. But if this option is on, your audio might lose some of its fullness, so keep it off to maintain a richer sound. Next we have the transmitter gain settings. We can adjust the gain for both transmitter 1 and transmitter 2. For instance, if we choose transmitter 1, we can adjust its gain by rolling the wheel or scrolling with your finger. Let's set it to 0 decibel for transmitter 1. Then we move on to the transmitter 2. For transmitter 2, if the person speaks loudly, we can decrease the gain a bit, perhaps to, let's say, -2 dB to balance it out. Now it's essential basically to experiment to find the right gain levels for both the speakers. So try to experiment yourself first. And one thing to be noted, that setting an appropriate gain level during the recording is essential to avoid issues later. You can do this by using monitoring headphones, which helps to ensure that the levels are neither too low If it is, which can introduce noise when boosted in the post, nor too high, which can cause clipping and distortion. While minor adjustment can be made in post-production to fine-tune the audio, but it's best not to rely on them to fix major issues. Next is the 32-bit float recording, which I always have it enabled. It's like a safety track because now each transmitter independently records audio files in 32-bit float, which gives you a wider dynamic range for audio editing. It also helps prevent audio clipping or distortion if audio gets too loud. If you do have this enabled, the 32-bit float file is recorded directly to the transmitter, so you will have to connect the transmitter to a computer to offload that audio file. Next is the record stop lock. If this is turned on, then you can't press the red color record button on the transmitter to stop the internal recording. This can be a good safety feature if you plan to record audio directly to a transmitter and you think that you or your subject might accidentally press the button and turn off recording. Personally, I keep this off. Next, we have the noise reduction via button. It's a feature that allows you to activate noise reduction or cancellation with the push of a button on the transmitter. If you wish to deactivate the noise cancellation button on the transmitter, what you can do is you can switch this off here. But I personally keep this on and prefer activating the noise cancellation by pressing the button on the transmitter. Next is the auto record. If this is turned on, the transmitter automatically starts internal recording when it's turned on. I also leave this feature off, but it could be very helpful if for some reason you always want to record internally to the transmitter storage. Next, we have the storage, which enables you to check the available storage on each transmitter. At the same time, you can also format or erase recording on each transmitter from here. Next is the vibration notification. When you turn this on, the transmitter gives a little buzz to let you know when they are switching on and off. The last settings which we will cover in the transmitter setting is the LED indicator. When this setting is activated, the two LED lights on the transmitter will light up in different colors like red, green, yellow and blue to indicate various statuses. I recommend keeping this option turned on. Now we swipe up and head up to the journal settings. These are pretty straightforward and easy to adjust. We have the brightness. We can adjust the brightness of the OLED display. Then we have the language where we choose from 15 different languages. Then we have the date and time. It's essential to keep this accurate for proper organization of your recordings. Then we have the factory reset, which allows you to reset all the settings to default if needed. Lastly, we have the version section where you can find the serial numbers and firmware versions of the receiver and transmitter. It's crucial to ensure all units have the latest firmware, which you can verify on the DJI website. And there you have it. We have covered all the settings on the DJI Mic 2. Hopefully this guide has made it easier for you to use these microphones. Now go out there and create some amazing sound, and catch you next time.